You don't want to miss out on desserts this holiday season, but you don't want to give up your low-carb lifestyle either. So what do? You make this keto pumpkin pie, you don't miss out, and your friends and family ask you, is this really sugar-free? Hi everyone, it's Maya from WholesomeYum.com, and I make easy, healthy recipes with 10 ingredients or less. So today, I'm showing you how to make a keto pumpkin pie. This pie is silky smooth and rich, it's thick and sweet, and it's bursting with real pumpkin and pumpkin spice. I'll show you how to make sure it doesn't crack, doesn't have a grainy texture, and tastes just like a real one made with sugar. Let's do this. The first thing you're going to need to do is make the keto pie crust. I have my almond flour pie crust recipe here. It uses Wholesome Yum almond flour because this gives us the best texture, but you can also make a coconut flour crust or really any crust recipe you like. I'll link the almond and coconut flour versions down in the description for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this in the oven. Bake the crust at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 6 to 8 minutes until it's just barely set. So while that's baking, I'm going to make the sugar-free pumpkin pie filling. It's going to be very similar to a regular pumpkin pie. You only need 5 ingredients plus a couple optional ones. We'll start with a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. Make sure you're using pure pumpkin puree here, not pumpkin pie filling, which has added ingredients and sugar. And next I'm adding half a cup of heavy whipping cream. You can also use coconut cream to make this dairy-free. Either way, make sure that your cream and the eggs we're adding next are at room temperature before you add them to the filling. Crack 2 large eggs right into the bowl. This pie filling does tend to be a little bit softer, so if you like it super firm, add an extra egg here. And 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. I'll link my 5-minute homemade version for you down below, but you can use store-bought here if you like. And you can also add an extra teaspoon if you like a lot of pumpkin pie spice flavor. A couple optional ingredients here, but I highly recommend them. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, which balances the sweetness, and 1 teaspoon of Blackstrap molasses. Just 1 teaspoon of molasses in the entire keto pumpkin pie won't change the carb count significantly, so I highly recommend adding this, but if you don't want to use that, you can also add a tablespoon or 2 of Besti brown sugar substitute instead. That is going to give you a similar effect. The last ingredient we need in the filling is Besti powdered monk fruit allulose blend. And there are a few reasons that this is the best sweetener for the job. So first of all, we just improved the consistency of this, so it's super powdery, just like real powdered sugar. This is also going to dissolve effortlessly and it doesn't crystallize, which means you don't get that gritty texture. And I have 2/3 of a cup here, so I'm just gonna add it in. The other advantage of this is it doesn't have that cooling effect that a lot of sugar substitutes have. So it really tastes so much like sugar with 0 net carbs. So now I'm just gonna beat this all together. We wanna keep this at medium-low speed because we are going to have too many air bubbles if you get it too high. So once your pie crust is done, reduce the oven temperature to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and I've let this cool for 10 minutes before I'm adding the filling. So now I can go ahead and pour this in. We don't want any air bubbles, so I'm going to tap this lightly on the counter. And you can see sometimes there are a couple of air bubbles that come to the surface. You don't have to get them all, but do your best. You can kind of pop them too. Now, because we pre-baked the crust, you can see the edges are already golden, so they will get too dark if we place this in the oven just like this. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to cover these edges with foil. So I folded this in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half again and arrange the corner kind of in the middle of the pie here. And then I can just cut around just like this. Unfold that and check if it fits correctly. Mine never fits on the first try, so you can just fold it back up and kind of adjust as needed. That's better. Make sure the shiny side is up and just fold that over. Bake the pie at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 to 45 minutes. You want to stop baking the sugar-free pumpkin pie when it's still jiggly at the center, not completely set. So this is similar to a cheesecake. I have a keto cheesecake recipe I'll link down below for you if you're interested in that. If you wait for this to fully set in the oven, it is going to be dry and it's going to crack. This is going to set as it fully cools on the counter and then in the fridge for at least 1 hour. My keto pumpkin pie is set, so let's slice this and see how it turned out. Make sure you're going all the way to the bottom so that you cut through the crust. And you can't have pumpkin pie without whipped cream, so I'm going to add some of this on as well. I'll add this to the slice that I have here and to the pie. You also don't have to do this, but I like a little sprinkle of pumpkin pie spice on this as well. Really good. Sweet, creamy, pumpkin-y, feels like the holidays. Let me know what you think if you try this. And if you need another must-have recipe to make for Thanksgiving, don't miss this sugar-free cranberry sauce.